Malky, it's been a strange kind of season with, I was just thinking the other day there about the fallow weekend, the postponements, the international break, and then obviously some of the League Cup section games were against weaker opposition.
Yeah.
However, starting this Sunday, you move into a period where you've got 5 league games in 15 days.
Yeah.
So does that present you with any problems, and do you think your squad's big enough for this?
Well, I think the thing that we've all learned in the women's game is that just now, as it stands, we need to be really mindful and careful of the squad and utilising players for specific games, which is what we'll do. Getting into this is just as you rightly said there. We're a game every 3 days or something like that, So it's going to be quite tough on the girls in that respect. But I think what's been good about if anything that's positive that's came out of the last probably year or so with the COVID, is the change and the acceptance now of the change. The girls are quite happy to adapt and adjust. Where before, when I first took the job, it had to be very much what we were doing, had to be in concrete, had to be set in stone. But now I think with the changes and the upset that COVID has brought in, that they've now become accepting of the fact that things will change and that they do change just like they do on the pitch come a Sunday.
In terms of your squad, I watched the 7-0 game against Accies, which was the 12th of September. Jane Ross scored 4, got a first half hat-trick.
Yeah.
The thing about Jane was that struck me was that she didn't seem to need to control the ball. She was just absolutely deadly. Without being too critical, there were times last season where I thought the team was trying to play the ball into the back of the net in some games. Is she the solution to up front?
I think last year was evident that we never scored in the right moments. We had a lot of the ball. We controlled a lot of the games, and teams were sitting in against us and hitting us in the counter. But I think now what we have a predator in Jane Ross. The depth of the squad's better. We've got Kayla McCoy who'll come back just shortly. She's recovering from a wee thigh knock. She'll come back in. So there's competition up front, not just where Jane is. Competition all over the park. But Jane's got an ability and experience that she's gained over the years that she can, when she gets in between the sticks and we get a good delivery, 9 times out of 10 she'll hit the back of the net. General play, she'll build, she'll drag players out of position to allow other ones to go into those holes and pockets. So she's a real advantage for the team dynamic.
Much was made on the Rangers website, the signings of some of the younger players and the playing them in. In terms of how your squad develops, are there going to be opportunities for those girls?
Yeah, definitely. The job is entailed. We want to get a winning team on that park and try and win as many games as we can and win the league and win the cups. But we have to do that. Being mindful of what the club is about. It's a one club. We must give opportunities to youth because, as you've seen in the past, if you look at Nathan Patterson, the men's, getting the opportunities is 9/10 of the bargain. So we must make sure that the young girls that are in the youth academy have that light at the end of the tunnel, that they can see that there is a progression for me, and that the club, the manager, the coaching staff have faith in them, and that we will play them and we trust them. And I think it's proven when we've played the pre-season games and even in the cup games. We look at the Boroughmuir game there, the girls got debut goals and played and contributed really well. I think Hamilton game there also, where Kirsty McLean came on, and I think she really looked hungry to get on the ball at every opportunity. So, and that drives the squad as well, even for the older ones, knowing that the competition's coming from the youth.
We've talked previously about attempting to develop a crowd up at Auchenhowie. And the way the fixtures have fallen and the COVID restrictions meant that hasn't really been something you've been able to do. But as I said, in the next stretch of 5 games, you've got 3 home games. Is that? Could you tell us in terms of the crowd, will you be able to get some folk in to watch those games?
Yeah, I think I think just now the restrictions have lifted a wee bit, and I think fans can access, albeit it's limited, but it'll just be a day-to-day thing, and that'll be the operations team here at the training ground. They'll dictate as to how many spectators can come in at any one time. But I think you saw with the Man United game and the Chelsea game when they came up, the joy that was created, and that the kind of, you know, that attracting that big name to it really gave it a spark. So I think it's captivated people to a certain extent, and they'll be looking forward to the league games and coming out and supporting.
And lastly, obviously with COVID, with injuries, suspensions, how's your squad looking for Sunday's game against Hearts?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, we just currently just now the positive news is that Megan Bell's now increasing her ability to actually get on the field with the ball, which is good. Kayla McCoy's coming back from a thigh injury. She'll be back on the field this week. Next week she'll get on the field there. And that aside, everything else is healthy. So it's going to be real competition for places, but we'll need to use the squad, as you said earlier, Mark. The squad game will really become vital. I've told the girls that, you know, that when I select a team, that team, that 11 can win a game, but it'll take this whole squad to win a trophy at Rangers. So they know the job, they know what's ahead of themselves. So we're really looking forward to going into a period where we're going to have a run of games.